All right, let's dive into something that, well, every single one of us deals with: stress and suffering. But today, we're going to go a little deeper than just the usual tips and tricks. We're going to follow the thread from our day-to-day worries all the way to the source to really understand what's happening inside our own minds.
So let me just start with this. Have you ever felt this way? You chase after something, a promotion, a new car, a perfect relationship, thinking, this is it. This will make me happy. And then you get it, and the feeling fades, and you're right back where you started, maybe even a little more stressed out. It's a really common trap, and it kind of hints that maybe we're looking for happiness in all the wrong places.
So first things first, let's talk about that word we throw around all the time, stress. It is such a huge part of our lives that Thailand's Department of Mental Health actually created a whole national campaign around it, treating it like the major public health issue that it is.
So what are we really talking about here? Well, according to the experts, stress is this feeling of being squeezed from all sides. And it's not just a thought or a mood, it's a full-body experience. It hits our body, our mind, and our emotions whenever we're up against, well, life. Now, it's really important to know there are two different flavors of stress. On one hand, you've got acute stress. That's your body's natural alarm system, that fight or flight kick when you're in immediate danger. Once the danger's gone, it settles down. But then there's chronic stress. This is what happens when that alarm just never shuts off, usually because of problems that just don't go away. And that's when it becomes a really damaging cycle.
And you can see just how much that cycle can affect us. Stress isn't just one thing. It kind of shows up in three main ways. Physically, you might get those tension headaches or an upset stomach. Mentally, it can look like anxiety, anger, or just feeling down about yourself. And it even changes what we do, our behavior. We might eat more or less, pull away from friends, or have trouble sleeping. It really gets its hooks into everything.
Okay, so we know what it is and what it looks like. Now, what in the world are we supposed to do about it? Let's move on and look at some of the practical first aid tools that experts suggest for when you're feeling completely overwhelmed and just need some relief right now. Think of this as your emergency toolkit for stress. The official advice is pretty solid and covers 5 key things. First, connect. Talk to somebody who gets it. Second, reframe. Try to shift your perspective. Find a little humor. Third, balance. Make sure you're getting exercise, rest, and time for things you actually enjoy. Fourth, calm. Things like meditation can be a game changer for quieting your mind. And finally, and this one is so important, consult. If it's all too much, there is absolutely no shame in getting professional help. Now, those tools are fantastic for managing the symptoms. They really are. But this is where our whole explainer takes a sharp turn. We're going to look past the first aid kit now and ask a much, much deeper question. What's the actual root of all this suffering?
This is the question that changes everything, isn't it? We can do all those things, we can talk to friends, we can meditate, we can exercise, and they definitely help. But why does that feeling of stress, that dissatisfaction, always seem to creep back in? Why don't these fixes last forever?
From a contemplative perspective, the answer is, well, it's pretty profound. Like Luangpu Promojo says here, when we look for happiness outside of ourselves, it's a search that never ends. Why? Because everything we chase, money, praise, pleasure, it's all temporary. It comes and then it goes. And trying to find permanent satisfaction in things that are fundamentally impermanent, well, that's a recipe for constant frustration.
So, if the answer isn't out there, then where is it? This leads us to the final part of our journey today. It's about a different path, not a journey to some exotic place, but a journey inward. There's actually a specific word for this practice, opanaiko. All it really means is to turn inward, to bring your attention back home, and just get to know yourself. It's about shifting from always trying to fix things on the outside, to simply learning about the nature of your own body and mind.
So what does that actually look like in practice? It's really about observation. You just watch. You watch your body doing its thing. You watch feelings, happy, sad, whatever, as they just come and go. You notice your thoughts without getting swept away by them. And here's the key. You start to see that all of these things are just temporary events. They're not a solid, permanent you. They're more like clouds passing in the sky.
And this insight is the real secret to letting go. I mean, look at what this quote is saying. You don't try to let go. That's just another form of struggle, right? Instead, the path is to really deeply understand why you suffer in the first place, to see with your own eyes that it's the clinging to these temporary things that's causing all the pain.
And here's the beautiful part. When the mind genuinely gets it, when it sees this truth for itself, It doesn't have to be forced to let go. It just does. It releases its grip all on its own, naturally. It's not about willpower, it's a result of just seeing things clearly.
So, when you boil it all down, the ultimate takeaway is this massive shift in perspective. We stop trying to constantly manage stress from the outside, and instead we start to realize the cause of suffering from the inside. Real, lasting peace isn't some prize you win or something you find out there. It's a truth about your own experience that you just wake up to.
And that brings us to the final question, which is really a question for you. If that endless search for happiness in the external world is actually the problem, not the solution, where are you going to start looking?